Alrighty, everybody, welcome back once again to another episode of Live Chat with Adam. Today, we have a very interesting conversation that we are about to have. We are talking about puppies and food. But first, if this is your first time watching, please go ahead, smash that subscribe button. And also, don't forget, give me a thumbs up and a comment in the chat below about what you feed your dogs. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What are we feeding our dogs? Specifically, when your dog was a puppy, or if your dog's a puppy, how much and what and where and all of that. And we're going to dive into that in just a second. But real quick, let me say hello to the chat. If this is your first time watching, please remember we do have the chat over here on the screen. So I kind of go back and forth between two screens here. And I just got the notification that we are live. So fantastic. So let's see, we got, Surface Paws is with us. Love her. Adam, that's me. I'm here. Lourdes is here. Yay. I wonder where the rest of the crew is. Where's Erica and where's everybody else? Hopefully they join us. They don't forget. Did I mute the phone? Yes, the phone is muted. And yeah. So, hey, look, my notification. We're live. Yay. Alrighty, so first things first, I'm sitting, oh, there's Charisse. I'm sitting here watching the pregame of the Super Bowl. Pregame, I'm drinking, I'm having a good time, hanging out with my buddies, and my phone starts blowing up. Never fails. Phone starts blowing up. And I found out one of my favorite dogs got loose in their neighborhood. And, you know, it kind of brought me back to, you didn't get a notification today? Oh, I'm sorry. I posted it. So it brought me back to I wanted to have this conversation with you guys real quick about dog safety and just dog understanding of instinctual behaviors. All right. So that being said, the dog was found, very happy, very safe. They even started an Instagram page today, I saw, so I did follow them, so I give you a thumbs up. And I smashed that follow button just for you. So, you know, the dog got out, started running around the neighborhood, and the pet parents really kind of got nervous. The first thing you have to do, hey, Brianna, first thing you have to do is take a step back and breathe. All right. The first thing I did was I called somebody that lived in her neighborhood who had a dog that I knew that this dog got along with and told them to go for a walk. Because hopefully that other dog will follow and be found by the other dog, and the dogs will find each other. And that all being said, all right. So take a second and just breathe. Your dog gets out. Oh my God, where are they going to go? What am I going to do? You need to take a second. You need to honestly take a moment and think, where would the dog go? All right. Luckily, the dog was found, and you know, luckily everything was good. What's up, Ozzy? And everything worked out. And it was only, you know, the dog was only out for maybe an hour. So he saw freedom. He went and got his beer before the Super Bowl, and then they came back and partied. That's it. And the Eagles won. My Eagles. That's right. They won. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. I'm glad everything turned out okay. I was a nervous wreck for about an hour, waiting for updates, waiting for everything. And so Brianna says, hey, she shakes a bag of food. Now, this dog was actually clicker trained. So they actually took a clicker with them, which was pretty smart. And, you know, something I mentioned, bring a clicker with you. And they started clicking as they were driving around their neighborhood, which would then catch the dog's ear, and the dog would probably come out looking for a reward. Normally, as a trainer, I would tell you don't do that. But in this situation, we're talking life and death. Dog can get out, be free. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. And I get it. I understand it. And it worked. They caught the dog happy, healthy, maybe a little wet because it was raining, and it was kind of chilly. So luckily, the dog is safe. There's no injuries, and everything is good to go. Now, let's let me digress. I've had a lot of conversations with pet parents about how much do I feed my puppy? And we've talked about this many times. Oh, and before I really dive in, I wanted to apologize. I'm still reconstructing the studio. I'm getting a new desk built within the next 2 weeks. And then this whole thing is shifting this way. So you're going to see this behind me, and there'll be a new backdrop, and it's going to look really cool once it's all done. So the wood and all this will be gone. The shelving will actually be on the side. It'll work out great. I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to all see it. I accept all donations, by the way, because I got to pay for it. So whatever. Anyway, so people go and they do their research. Oh, we're just going to take a, you know what? We'll go with a golden. I have a golden. And what do I feed my golden? How much do I feed this 8-week-old puppy that weighs all of 10 pounds? How much do I feed him? And I get that comment all the time. How much do I feed my dog? So getting fancy, huh? Yeah, Allison, you know me. Come on. I do things big, or I don't do them at all. So what do you feed your dog, and how much do you feed them? Well, at the store, everyone always asks me, how much do I feed a puppy? And the first thing you need to do is, once again, take a step back and look and do your research on that specific breed. So let's say you had a corgi like this one right here. So a corgi is a smaller dog, but super high energy. And you have to be aware of the calorie count that they're intaking. Get a boxer, which is right here. Get a boxer. They're lean and solid. Also super high energy. Two totally different dogs. All right. So you have to do your research on what kind of dog you have. And then how many times a day you should feed them, and how many times a day you should walk them. You know, we've talked about this over and over again. So I pulled up some stuff here, and all I did was Google, thanks to Google, how much do you feed a puppy? And this is what it says. It says puppies should feed 3 to 4 times a day. Therefore, if you currently feed 3/4 of a cup, sorry, of food twice a day, you should consider spacing it out to feed 1/2 cup 3 times a day. Similar or smaller meals, easier to digest for puppies, and energy levels don't peak or fall with frequent meals. What? That is courtesy of the Feeding Puppy Guidelines from Caesar's Way. I got nothing. So in English, okay, they are saying that if it tells you to feed 3/4 of a cup twice a day, which is 1.5 cups, you should break that up to 3 feedings of 1/2 cup 3 times a day. This way, you're getting a stable dog, and you're not getting energy peaks of turkey comas, where they digest their food and they crash, and they digest their food and they crash. They digest their food and they crash. So you don't have that ups and downs. You know, why can't they just say it in plain English? Like I tell my students all the time, feed 12 hours apart, regular feeding at 7 a.m., regular feeding at 7 p.m., and then feed middle of the day. Simple. Is that so difficult to say? Feed 12 hours apart? I don't understand why it's so difficult. Why? I don't get it. Maybe someone in the chat can explain to me why they have to make this sound so hard. So the American Kennel Club says feeding adult dog food differs than feeding puppy food, correct? 4 feedings a day usually is adequate to meet nutritional demands. Large breed dogs should feeding by 9 to 10 weeks old, smaller than 12 to 14 weeks, or 3 to 6 months. Sometimes during this duration, decease the 3rd feeding and should only feed 2 times a day. Come on, that makes no sense to me. So if you follow the guidelines, that your dog is supposed to feed, all right, 12 hours a day. And as Brianna says in the chat, she says breakfast, lunch, dinner, but they need to be 12 hours apart. Okay. You feed 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night, and then sometime in the middle. Okay. Keep that consistent. Brianna also says, I have a large breed pup, and she tends to pee and poop in her kennel at night. So I cut back her food before bed and water. Okay, so what's transition to that? So if you're feeding 12 hours apart and your nighttime feeding is running into your poopy time. So because you know that when you keep track, like you're supposed to keep track of all your dog's bowel movements, as we've gone through potty training 101. So you have that, all right? And now you're noticing, see, Brianna, I know you're lost. So you're noticing that your dog is having accidents in the middle of the night, but in the morning time, when you're tracking your dogs in 7 a.m., and you know 6 days a week, your dog has gone to the bathroom at 9:30 at night. You already know that, or 9:30 in the morning. So you have to get your dog out and walk them by 9:30 a.m. You know at 9:30 p.m., guess what? You got to walk your dog. Sorry. That's a thing. All right. So you need to walk them by 9:30. Now, if you're still having incidents and you're still having these same problems, tone it down a notch. Maybe feed them at 8 o'clock instead of the 9 o'clock, or feed them, I mean, not at 8 o'clock, maybe feed them at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And then you're going to know when that nighttime feeding is. Now, the other extreme, let's say you're a night owl. I tend to be a night owl. I do most of my posting on Facebook and Instagram around midnight, which from what I was just told, that's the worst time you should do it. Oh, well. So you should, if you're a night owl, then instead of feeding at 9 or feeding at 8, why not feed at 10 and walk them at 11:30 so then they make it through the night? Does that make sense? So keep it simple. Don't overthink it. I usually make a simple tracking sheet on Excel and just keep it on the refrigerator and just keep it there. Keep track of when your dog has accidents. Keep track of the in and the out. Keep track of their water and the food. It's all about the food. All right. This makes absolutely no sense to me. All right. The Caesar Way one is too confusing. The American Kennel Club makes a little bit more sense, but they're kind of getting too scientific. So it's simple. If your dog is a smaller breed dog, okay, adult size less than 20 pounds, adult size, not puppy size, adult size less than 20 pounds, you feed 4 times a day. If your dog is a medium-sized breed dog, adult size between 25 and 45 pounds, you feed 3 times a day. And if your dog is a large breed dog and that dog has a larger, the larger the dog is, the less intake they get. All right. The longer space, I mean. All right. So you're still going to do the 3 times a day for the larger breed dog, but it's not going to be a full meal in the middle. They need to balance out. And that is correct. But they're not making any sense in what they're reading. This makes no sense to me. So hopefully you guys kind of understand that. That really. Okay, so Allison asked me, he goes, 3 times a day for adult dogs or only puppies. But you have to think of the adult dog, because if you think of the puppy weight, it's about weight and obesity. That's what you're looking at. You're balancing that weight and obesity. And you want to make sure you get the right, that right actual size. We don't want to overfeed a puppy because then they have kidney problems, development issues, hip joint issues. You don't want to underfeed a dog because then they have the same thing, development problems, hip joint issues, kidney problems. So you want to be really, really safe. All right. The other thing is, how much protein is too much protein for puppy food? So let's go ahead and Google how much protein, and I spelled protein wrong. Shocker. Should a puppy have? It's hard to type with one hand. The microphone's right in the way. Should a puppy have? And let's see what they say. And once again, it goes to Caesar's way. All right. So protein having to do with dog food is kind of a big thing. All right. Too much protein or too much lean protein can cause kidney issues. All right. 2, lack of protein can cause development issues in your dog. And if they have development issues, you're looking at a bigger issue with Giardia and a few other diseases that happen in the digestive tract because they're not moving enough stuff through. That's correct, Floyd. So it says here, this is courtesy of, Dog Care, the Daily Dog Pup Guide. It sounds like, whatever. Oh, no, Dr. Austin Smith, too. We'll read that one, too. So protein, an adult dog diet should be a minimum of 18% protein, but at least 22% in a puppy's food. So when you're reading the bag and it says, protein, 22 to 36, and adult dogs should be 18 to 22. And 10 amino acids required to help good puppy growth and development. So what you want to make sure, though, is that you don't go too high. There's some brands that are out there. Spell check saves lives. There are some brands that are out there that have for example, a large breed puppy formula that is grain-free. All right. Large breed puppy formula, grain-free. And we're going to go with still with that golden. All right. That adult size is going to be 65 to 75 pounds. It's a big, big girl. All right. So if you're feeding a large breed dog, do you want a higher protein or a lower protein? And I'm going to let you in the chat talk about that. I'm going to go grab something that's super cool. I'll be right back. Think about it. Let's see. Anyone make a comment? I have an off-topic question by chance. No off-topic questions. I'm on a roll here. I'm just going to put those right there. So, okay. So 65 to 75 pound dog, puppy, adult dog. Adult size should be 65 to 75. Large breed puppy at 10 weeks old. What do you think? Hey, someone said hello to you, Floyd. You're getting to be famous. I know. So you should ultimately have a lower protein source for the larger breed dog. Now, here's the reason why. No, Allison's wrong. It's less protein. And the reason why is you want the development of that larger breed dog to be as slow as possible. Does everyone remember when you were 13 years old and you had growing pains in your shins and your knees? Well, dogs go through that same thing in their hips and joints. All right. And the slower you feed them, not slower, but the more controlled you feed them and you keep them on puppy food for longer periods and you keep them on a lower protein diet to kind of take their time developing instead of rushing, then you're going to have a healthier development of a dog, of that larger breed dog. If you look at the bags, the small breed dogs, like a corgi, small breed dog, probably max weight 25 pounds, should be no more. They usually feed, their protein level should be 30 to 35%. Boxer, right there, should be in the 20 to 25%. Reason being is they need to be leaner and slower development. Now, what that means is this dog, this corgi right here, is going to be on adult food because she's fully developed and they need to lower that protein at a younger age. Hopefully, you guys are following this. So, at about 10 months old, this dog is going to go on to adult food, whereas at about 15 months old, this dog is going to go on puppy or on adult food. You got it? Longer time to develop, longer time to process. Now, the other thing you have to take into the mix, which we haven't really talked about, is energy level. All right. So this dog, and it's perfect that I'm sitting right here. This dog right here is super hyper, is a herding dog, has energy for days. Energy for days. So if you have energy for days, you have to have enough energy for the dog to burn off. So if you have enough energy for the dog to burn off, you need to make sure you're feeding this dog the proper 3 to 4 times a day so they maintain that level, correct? All right. Does that make sense? So that's what we were talking about before. This dog just so happens to be a boxer that I pointed at, not Murphy, who has his nose in my sneaker. But this dog, that's Chloe, and she actually has to have 3 meals a day of a good protein to maintain energy level. Just so happens she is very hyper too. So, at the end of the day, oh, thank you. Someone mentioned me on Instagram. You know who you are. So at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you follow some basic guidelines, which we are going to lay out. Small breed dogs eat small breed puppy formula till 10 weeks, 10 months old, 10 months. In those 10 months, you're going to go from 4 feedings to 3 feedings to 2 feedings over the course of the months. Now, that's kind of up to you and your process of your development. All right. I can help you search the web for feedings. I love my watch. So, okay. So, and you're going to figure that out with your dog's intake of food and energy and sleep. And so you'll figure that all out yourself. Now, large breed dog, you're going to feed 2 and a half. Well, we'll go with thumb. 2.5 to 2 times a day by the time they're 15 months old. All right. Now, we haven't even discussed potty training, which this is all part of it. All right. Yes, for a year. Yep. Okay. So potty training is another whole facet that if you're not feeding a quality food, which we're going to get into that in the future, but if you're not feeding a high quality food, then we're going to have a different discussion on good nutrition. Are you feeding McDonald's to your dog? What happens to humans when you eat a lot of McDonald's? I know what happens to me when I eat a lot of McDonald's. Probably happens to you too when you eat a lot of McDonald's. So we don't want the same thing to happen to dogs. All right. So hopefully that all makes sense. I tried to break it down a little bit more. So in a nutshell, how much should you feed your dog? Do your research. All right. That's what it comes down to. You need to do your research and find out the breed of your dog, how much how much energy level they have. Ask a trainer in your area. If you don't have me as a trainer, feel free to reach out. Leave a comment below and tell me how much you think you should feed your dog. All right. Good interactive chat today. Thank you guys for all joining. I missed some of you guys that haven't been on. Ozzy did mention a question though. He said, how do I make my dog eat his meds? You know what? Shoot me that in a text and I will make that next week's topic. All right. And I'll talk to you in class, by the way, to give you the proper trick for how to give your dog meds next week. So that's what we're going to talk about. Topic next week. How do you give your dog meds? All right. And I will see you guys next time. I know that was kind of quick. Wow. 8:25. And that went by fast. So anybody in the chat have any last minute questions? I kind of went off on a rant there. Yeah, no. So, last minute thing. This is going to be a thing. I'm just saying. You don't know what it is yet, but it's a thing. It's a thing that's coming. It's going to be huge. Yep. Planet Dog. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. 5:20. Oh, because you're on the West Coast. That's right. I always forget that. So okay. So you need an hour. I can't talk for an hour. That's a lot. I mean, when I'm over at someone's house and I have someone with me talking, then yeah, probably I can go for an hour. But I can't really do a full hour just talking by myself. I lose my voice. Really, actually, really bad. My pup has 4 dew claws. 4 dew claws. 2. Oh, is which breed is your dog? If it's a mix of a mountain dog of some kind, a lot of times they do have the double dews in the back. And if they have the double dews in the back, that's meant for climbing and ice, to grip ice. I shouldn't, but I should remove them. Well, okay, I would consult a vet. Talk to your vet about that, because double dew claws can become an issue. And normally when you get your dog spayed or neutered, that would be the time for that. Healer Great Pyrenees. There you go. Great Pyrenees. That is the reason why they have double dews. So that would be double dew claws happen on Great Pyrenees. And what that is the hind leg. So they have their paw, right? They have their little paw and they have their little dew claw. Well, they have another dew claw that sticks out. I suck at this. So they have 2. So whenever they climb ice, it actually sticks. They stick in the ice and they can grip. And it's kind of cool. In a Great Pyrenees, you just want to make sure they don't get embedded. So you want to make sure you're really trimming them. That's the main thing. So as a puppy, you want to make sure you really do a good job desensitizing them to nail trimmings. And then if it's an issue, then you can talk about getting it removed. Normally in those breeds, you don't have to worry about it. I've seen them in boxers before. Then there are issues with boxers. Rotties get them sometimes too. So yeah, so that could be an issue there. So yeah, I would say with a Great Pyrenees, I wouldn't worry about it. And a healer, that's got to be a fun dog. High energy, but lazy at the same time. Alrighty, guys, it is time. I will see you all next week, where we're going to talk about what's the trick to give your dog meds. And remember, if this is your first time watching, please go ahead, smash that subscribe button down there. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And please, all of you in the chat, take a second, back out, and leave a comment below. And also, please give me a thumbs up. I'll see you all next time. Oh, wow, I got to move the mouse. Deuces.